Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Woman's Cave.
I'm gonna say hello because I really think that it got cut off because she doesn't ever wait for the blinking red light.
If I wait for the blinking red light, you would have gone down Woman's Cave Alley, turning on Woman's Cave Lane,
or slash what? Writers class or slash?
No, we're doing writers class.
Oh, okay, or slash writers class, y'all. Because they gave us 7 months in our house. They gave creators 7 months in their house. Guess what we did, y'all? We created stuff. We were just like, you know what? We haven't done enough stuff. More things. So yeah. So as y'all know, you follow our podcast. We kind of don't ever know where the podcast is going to land.
Yeah, I feel you.
But you kind of do a splash in the beginning. So then you're like, hey, if it landed on writers class, I wasn't wrong.
One, we now have 4. So yeah, we never know where we're going. But
know.
Anyway, that's not important.
And I will know that. We almost forgot.
Oh my goodness. By the way, my cheekbones look amazing today.
You know what? I can't with her cheekbones. It's okay. It's a reprisal for my smile.
It is.
Yeah. It's all right. All right. So we wrote a bunch of things, which we like to call literary life guides with pop poetry, which are really just poetry books, but we want to make it sound as exciting as possible. So literary life guides with pop poetry. And here's the top 4. And I thought divorce was bad with other life lessons. And I thought being grown up was easy.
Which is around here somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. And I thought I did my journey alone. All available on Audible and Barnes & Noble. And the last one is only available on Barnes & Noble. If only I were me.
Can I mention that there are 17 books in the And I Thought series and 3, soon to be 3 in the Mystic Guide series.
Yeah, because as we've been telling y'all, we are coming out with a book and a half. So the half book is actually a second edition because people said, you know what? We need in this book of poetry more poetry, and as poets we were like, absolutely. Let me just get right on that for you. So a book and a half should be out soon.
Every time you say a half book, I think it's like a book with a front cover and then like halfway through there's nothing. There's like no back cover, just pages.
Wow.
Okay, never mind. I thought that was funnier in my head. Anyway, today we have did
so
you
now
we can find everything?
Yeah, all right. Now you know who writes her jokes, me. You can find out everything your ladies are doing, even some lame jokes on www.andwethought.com.
I feel like that was shade. But you're not here to hear about us. You're here to hear about our wonderful guest. Our wonderful guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Tope Folarin. I'm a writer. I'm also the author of a novel called A Particular Kind of Black Man.
Yes. He forgot to mention the one thing that made me go.
Oh, I thought you would prompt me. So the one thing about, let's see, there's so much happening in my life right now. I'd say the one thing that determines much of what happens in my life is the fact that I have a 7-month-old. She was born at the beginning of this whole situation. So she's always all up in my grill. I'm not sleeping much because of her, but we love her. We also have a 3-year-old. So yeah, life is really interesting right now.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know whether to say congratulations or I'm sorry.
No, both.
Because you're like, congratulations, new life. Oh, I'm sorry, because I think your 7-month-old is gonna get used to y'all being in the house, and then you're
exactly. Yeah, always up under her. Yeah.
What? I don't go to daycare. You're home every day, all day.
Exactly. That's it.
That's not gonna be funny either. All right, let's talk about happy things. I mean, that is a happy thing.
Well, I wanted to talk about, you have 2 master's degrees.
Yeah.
I just needed to mention that, like, because that's so amazing and like so educated. I felt like I was like, oh, maybe I should put on my smart sweater. So this is my
No, please don't. No. You know what actually happened was that I was in a PhD program in grad school, and I was in the middle of my first master's, and I said, you know what, I don't want to be an academic, so I just got a second master's. So that's what happened.
That's still amazing.
That's amazing. So wait, I know I should know this, but what are your master's degrees in?
I have one it's a subject called comparative social policy, which is like public policy, and the second is in African studies.
Nice.
Damn, I feel like you were very prepared to write the book that you wrote. Did you have to even go look for inspiration, or were you just good to go?
That's a really good question. I needed inspiration to know that I could do it, because writing a book, as both of you know, is very difficult. And I wasn't sure if I had the energy and creativity, and I'm ashamed to say this now, but I wasn't sure if I had the energy and creativity to like write hundreds of pages, right? Because I was really intimidated by the prospect of sitting down and writing 200 plus pages. So I needed to learn about other writers and learn about other artists and kind of learn their journeys in order to start my own.
Well, absolutely, because you have to know the people that went before you and see what they did. And what are some of those skills that helped you to continue to write? Like, did you just outline it? Did you just every day say, I'm going to write these many words, no matter what's happening?
Yeah, no, for me, that's exactly it. I told myself that I was going to write 1,000 words every day, come rain, shine, whatever, I had to do it. And my thinking is that if I did this for 3 months, 1,000 words a day for 3 months, I'd have like 90,000 words. And it might be the worst novel of all time, but at least it was long enough to be a novel. And at that point, I'd start to shape it and edit it and everything else.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of writers do that. They do sit down and they're like, I'm going to write 1,000 words. I couldn't do it. They have dedication the level of dedication.
Oh, I don't believe you. You guys are doing a book and a half. What are you talking about? You pass the book and you do a half book? There's something there.
It's what I think it was more like I knew it had to be done. And this is what we have promised our fans. So we like to promise it before we do it. So that way we're always in your back of your mind. You're like, oh no, I literally have to get this done.
Yeah, I feel you.
So like we write poetry though.
Yeah, so it's not the same.
That's not the same as pulling off an entire book. So how did you solve the middle sag problem that most authors have? They get to 45,000 words and they're like, whew, this is taking a lot more time, energy, and creative ingenuity than I might have. How did you get it?
That's a great question, because I didn't think it was real until I was writing my book. And then I got to the middle, I was like, whoa, because I had a solid sense of what the beginning was and what the end was. But that middle was really trying to do something to me. So, my editor had a really great suggestion, and it's a suggestion I hated at the time, but he said that I should take everything that I had in my middle and throw it away and start again. He said, keep the beginning the same, keep the end the same, write a new middle, and make it like a third as long as your last middle was. And so I hated him for about 2 months because I didn't know what I was supposed to do. And I was like, I had a book and now I don't. But then one day I was walking around and a thought came to me and I thought like, this could work. And I wrote it. And he was right. It was much shorter than the last middle was. And it worked even better than it did before. So I'm not sure if that's, a bit of advice I can pass along. But I think there is something to kind of, if you're stuck in the mud, to just like stepping away entirely, if you can, if I can use that metaphor, stepping away and trying to see the thing from a new perspective is really helpful.
A lot of authors, they do say that though. Sometimes you just have to like shelve it and then like 2 months later be like, okay, let's do this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a great time to start editing because in 2 months you forgot like a whole chunks of your own story.
Exactly.
Oh, you're reading like, that's what happens.
Yeah, exactly. She's pretty good. Let me,
this guy, I'd read a second one from him. Let's get back to serious questions.
So you did bring up the love-hate relationship of most authors with their editors. So at the end you saw her light, but like in that middle when when your editor was telling you this, you like I could strangle you.
Yeah, no, and
I mean, it's not like actually, but with my mind, I want you to know
it's real. Yeah, I was so upset with him, because the thing that happens when you get a book deal is that like the editor will send you these wonderful notes, like I see your passion and your vision, and we had these lovely phone calls, and I'm like, oh, he gets me. This guy's incredible. He's part of the fam now. And then you get into the nitty gritty. And he was cool with most of it, but he was like, we have to do something about this. And I was like, what happened to those wonderful words you were whispering in my ear a couple months ago? What's up with that? And he was hardcore. I mean, he kept on saying, Tope, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. And I did hate him for a while. Ira, if you're out there, I love you. I wasn't the biggest fan, but he was completely right. Because at the end, I looked back and I thought, wow, he was. And that's why it's really important to have somebody else who cares about you, who has your interests at heart, to kind of be really critical. I guess that applies across, all kinds of, things in your life, to have somebody who's willing to tell you the truth, even if the truth is hard to hear, right?
Yeah, you have that one friend that's
who
like,
keeps it real.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to share a story that y'all have heard before out there, but Tope hasn't, so I'm going to share it again. So we have If Only I Were Me, and there is a poem on the matter of Skittles drought. Okay. And this is written because I had these rainbow leggings that I loved.
Yeah.
And I was wearing them.
Yeah.
And then, like the third or fourth time I was wearing them, I got in the car with Winona. I'm driving away, like 15 minutes away from either of our houses, and I was driving, and she's like, she turns to me, on the matter of the rainbow pants. And I said, why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say this when we were in the yard? Like, in either one of our houses' yard, look, you could have said it And I would have changed them immediately, because when your friend looks at you and be like, on the matter.
On the matter. So formal too.
Yeah. That's how
it was real.
And the whole poem is talking about, like, it says, Your Honor, on the matter of the rainbow pants, just look at the rainbow pants.
Yeah.
The prosecution rests.
So anyway.
Oh, that's it. Just look at the pants.
Yep.
So like an editor is very much like that for a person who is a writer. I got published at 10, so my first real editing notes came at 12.
Wow.
And,
she still remembers to the day the editor like
chopped 4 pages of beautiful words that, looking back, were not needed. So, so we understand this love-hate, but when you look back, though, your work is very beautiful and very polished because of them.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, somebody said, and I think this is the best way of putting it, somebody said that an editor saves you from yourself. And I think that's exactly it. You know, we're all artists. We all get caught in the middle of whatever it is we're doing. And everybody who's an artist has had that moment when you write something, you're like, you know what, I'm the best of all time. Like, this is so incredible. You can't tell me nothing. And then somebody else looks at it and they're like, not quite, you know, those rainbow pants ain't doing it, you know, so.
Exactly. They look at you and say, on the matter. And then you go, and then you just donate them immediately. Like, as soon as you get one of the word, you're like, donate the pants. You're like, oh, donation. This is the donation, but like, I'm gonna watch them and then donate
exactly
immediately.
So I would like to ask what everyone wants to know who is not published yet is the day that you found out you got your literary agent and the day that your book got picked up. What were you doing? How did you feel?
Man, that's a great question, because, you know, like, for a long time, I sang a lot in high school and college. And so singing is very important to me. And the one thought I had constantly was, you know, that moment when you hear your song on the radio, and I listened to people talk about how incredible that was. And for me, it was like that when I got my agent, like, wow, this is becoming a reality. And I was in London and I just received a literary prize. And I got an email from somebody and they said, we love your work. We love to represent you. And I received a couple emails like this after the prize. And so I reached out and had a conversation with this woman named Maria Massey, who became my agent. It was incredible, a really wonderful conversation. And she, you know, she said, I'll fight for you. I believe in your work and everything that a writer wants to hear. So that was back in 2013. And she's been my agent since then. And about the book, gosh, where was I? I was actually at work, I think. And the email came in and I was talking to a couple editors, and this man reached out to me, and we had a couple conversations. And that's after our last conversation, I knew that he was the right person for the book. So
you have had a very accredited career. You're multiply awarded. My words are not coming today. Can you tell?
No.
Ooh, I'm sitting here and I'm like, ly on multiple. Is that true or is that multiply? Ooh, I'm speaking it like I'm speaking another language.
It's Friday afternoon. It's time for that cocktail, right?
Oh my goodness.
It is so time for that.
And I'm not gonna lie, I got so distracted there for a moment, and then I was like, wait, Jade said something about that in the beginning. Bring it back.
We were gonna be like, yes, it's time. What cocktail? Well, now I have to ask, what cocktail are you having this evening on a Friday?
That's a good question. It's hard to have cocktails in the crib, you know, like I like having the mixologist do it. When I do make a cocktail, I generally go for an old fashioned. It's a corny thing to say, but I'm a big fan of the old fashioned. So
we're big fans of the old fashioned.
Okay, good. I'm among friends. I like that.
Right.
So we have a bar in our garage that's literally set up as a bar, because when I was younger, I did not know what a bar was, and I bought one because I thought it was cool. It's portable.
That's dope. I like that. Yeah, the whole thing.
And it has all the liquors and the mixes, and yes. Wow. And she's like, the first thing that she did was like, what liquor do we need, you know, going into the pandemic? And she's like, stuff for the old fashioned.
Right. Yeah. And then you set up.
I love that.
You set it up in like your multi-purpose room detached from your house. You feel like you're going out because you walked outside.
Like that.
Real shoes.
Okay, you dress up a little bit.
Little shoes, right? Real shoes, you know. And you're like, hey, I went out today. I think this is what the pandemic has turned us into. Like, we're just like, if I walk outside and I put on real shoes, I have a vision going out.
Yeah, I like that. That's hot.
So how has, I'm sure, because we have to ask, and if you're watching this in like 2045, you'll hear this question a lot. How has the pandemic of 2020 affected you in your writing and just general?
Man, I mean, it's just, I think it's had the same impact in every part of my life, which is everything is, I think you guys kind of mentioned this. One, like I appreciate the life I had before so much more, you know, like many people, I was complaining a lot about various things. And now I'd give anything to just kind of like leave the house without putting on a mask, just hang out at the bar with a friend, or, you know, go to a reading or a concert and just hang out with people, walk up to somebody I haven't met before, introduce myself, get a sense of who they are. Like all of that stuff is gone. And I think I miss that human connection. You know, Zoom is a wonderful thing, but I've discovered that it doesn't replace that human interaction. With the writing, it's just more difficult because my entire life now is this place where I live. And before, it was great to have an outlet to, like, if I was stuck somewhere, to get up and walk to the bookstore, say, or to a friend's house and just sit back and talk and think. But I can't do that anymore. So it just, and with the baby, we had the baby right when the shelter in place orders went into place. And so we've been inside with this baby and our 3-year-old, and you know, 3-year-olds be wilding out. You know, they're convinced that they run everything, and so I haven't had as much mental space and even energy as I had before. So, gosh, I can't wait for that moment after this when I'm very hopeful that it'll happen soon, when life returns to something like normal.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's one person, I was talking to this person and they were saying, you've been on high alert for 6 months.
Yeah.
They're like, after a while, it just wears on you.
Yeah.
Like, just in general, like you're fine, you're in your house, everyone you know is safe, and everything is fine.
Yeah.
But it just wears on you after.
Yeah. And then there was the marches this summer, the Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, and then we have an election happening. I mean, this has been a moment of acute stress for many folks, right? So, yeah, we need the biggest party ever when this is done, like just massive, insane, you know, losing it.
I believe Coachella this year should be free.
Yeah.
Every year we have the vaccine and we know we're COVID free. Coachella's free.
Yeah, it's all free.
I feel like there's gonna be just a lot of people just walking up to random people like, "Hi, my name is." Exactly. And it's gonna be like, "Hey, my name is."
Exactly. You're real. Let me touch you.
Without being like concerned, like, wait, is my mask in place? Okay, do I have my hand sanitizer? Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Going out to the store became like a real thing. You're like, hand sanitizer, mask, other thing. Okay, 6 feet apart. You're counting. I think there's gonna be a lot of good books written from this.
Yeah, I think so as well. Absolutely, yeah.
Or at least a lot of poems. I know I'm gonna. No,
I'm honestly, when you said I've been sitting here in these walls, I came up with 2 different poems.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to recite them for you. Then I was like, no, that's too much because the show's not about me.
It's not about him and his book.
Exactly.
I can't wait to read him or hear him.
They may not ever make a book. Who knows? As soon as I close this computer, they'll probably be gone.
No, that's the life. That's the life of a poet, right? You're always like, oh, that's really interesting. We're gonna write something about that. And you're like, that's not making a book. I'm glad I wrote it, like, but it's never gonna make it.
And in emergency, when someone goes, well, we're 2 pages short, you go like, here, take this.
Take this one. It's fine. Edit it. There you go. So, okay, where can people find your book? And are you coming out with another book soon?
So this book it's available everywhere. It's on Amazon and Barnes and Noble, all over the place. So you can check it out there or at your local bookstore. And I'm writing right now. We'll see what happens. I was sort of targeting the end of the year for a draft of the second novel, but you know, I'm trying to stick to that. But life, you know, as we just discussed, is really crazy right now. So we'll see how that goes. But that's the goal anyway.
Maybe you want to do a collection of flash fictions, short stories, kind of like sewn together with a common thread.
That's a good idea. You know, that's something I should think.
I mean, you can sit down and write for maybe 7 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it might take other people longer to do a flash fiction, but it's 7 to 10.
Yeah.
And you can do one a day or one every 3 days. Let's do it in pandemic time. One every 3 days. and then maybe you might be able to get done.
Maybe you're able to take all those flash fictions and like scope them into a novel.
Yeah.
That's just our 2 cents, and literally it's worth 2 cents.
It's worth, or maybe less than that. It might be worth 2 pennies with a hole in them.
Maybe. Who knows? We don't know. So, where can people find out more about you?
Say it one more time before we wrap up, so people remember to buy the book.
Yes, please remember to buy the book. You can learn more about the book on my website. It's topefolarin.com. So that's TOPEFOLARIN .com. So everything about me and my life is on that website.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I really
appreciate it. Can't believe you came.
I know, right?
Wow.
I know.
No, thanks for having me. I really appreciate you guys reaching out. I really appreciate it.
We saw the board of people that you were on there with, and we were like, oh, there's no way in the world. And then you said yes. We were like, oh.
Yeah, you should have when we got the email. Oh, we told him to think we're serious. All right, so I guess I'll wrap us up. Would you like to wrap us up? Absolutely. You can find out everything your ladies are doing on www.andwethought.com. While you're there, go to the homepage, check out all the new cool things we're going to have coming out, even the half book.
Ooh, can I please say it? Yes. And on the Ladies Tale podcast, which is near the middle of the homepage, you can hear professional actors read my pilot script.
I think that maybe I should just have her say that and then I wrap up. Because, then she always interrupts my flow. But anyway, more important than all of that we have just said, please take a moment, go to the Ladies tab, go down to the middle and see the charities that we probably support. Let's keep in mind that this is October. This is Domestic Violence Month. So you might want to pay special attention to Powerful Beginnings. They are doing wonderful things in the world of preventing domestic violence and showing people what the stages, not the stages, but the steps are, how to identify it. And also they're doing online website things about seminars about financial abuse, which people talk about. So you can check out everything that they're doing. And as we say, 2020, and the old saying is, money is funny. So we understand if you cannot donate money, maybe you can donate time to them, or just add them on social media and say, thank you for doing this wonderful work in the world. Because we all can use a little more encouragement.
I need more encouragement. Although I'm a narcissist, I still need my encouragement. I have a bad day.
She doesn't. But just keep in mind, y'all, that wisdom is all around you if
you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys, from Will Nona
and Jade. Oh, yeah. Thanks for listening.